Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor. We're back here with your evening video, and we're going to be discussing something that we all don't want to discuss, do we? But it is quite a likely scenario. Check out the stream from earlier on today. Rack a like up on that, everybody, as well. It was a good stream between myself and Just Joe Football Show. And yeah, an hour-long chat about Leeds United. We speak about absolutely everything over there, and make sure you do so. So I wanted to speak about young Archibald today. Young Archibald of Grayshire. Yes, Archie is, well, there's a lot of interest. There is a lot of interest. And we've got someone on the channel tomorrow who I think you all are going to be really excited by. I'm excited by as well. We're going to be discussing the fixtures, but we've also done an across the pond as well. So make sure you check that out, everybody, earlier on with myself and Gabe. But yeah, young Archibald of Grayshire. It looks like Dortmund, and this is reported by Build as well, an excellent source who I've used several times on this channel. They're very, very good. We've actually had Build on the channel as well previously, so I can tell you they are very, very legit. Leeds United's Archie Gray is on Borussia Dortmund's list, of which we know. There was a lot of rumours around Archie, and apparently Dortmund testing the waters a little bit for 20 million quid. That is unconfirmed news, but 20 million quid is essentially the fee that Dortmund were looking at for Archie. They don't see his valuation as higher than that, according to reports. I have to say that according to reports. So, I was discussing this earlier about that almost being an absolute spit in the face. It's been an insult, to be honest. This is a versatile player who can play right back, can play central midfield. Obviously, we know that Dortmund took Bellingham off Birmingham's hands after a season, an unbelievable season in the Championship. They have a mass scouting network in the Championship as well. There was rumours that they were looking at Scott as well at Bristol City, but they didn't go full on with that because they still had, a good central midfield youth sort of development within this squad at that moment in time. I believe sort of Bellingham was still there as well at that time. So yeah, they didn't take the option on Scott from Bristol City, but listen, Archie, right now they have a gap. Dortmund, they have a gap. They have a little bit of an aging side as well in there. We know obviously Royce has been there, but there's Emre Can in that midfield space as well. The sort of balance of having a younger midfielder there, a hungry young midfielder there who's going to be playing week in, week out, a la Jude Bellingham, is in that void right now for Dortmund. And it seems like they've got a list, and Archie Gray is part of that list. It has been rumoured by sources close to the player that he would like a transfer to BVB Dortmund in order to take the next step in his career. Now, the reason why this is dangerous, it's very, very dangerous for Leeds United right now, is we're not really hearing that much about Crysencio Somerville. Do I think Somerville will leave? I do. But there is that thing in the back of my mind where he doesn't kick up a fuss. Archie's not kicking up a fuss. Of course he's not. But he doesn't kick up a fuss. He's happy at Leeds. He's mentioned several times that he's happy at Leeds. But are we being a little bit naive and deluded here by thinking that, he's happy at Leeds to play another season in the Championship when he's got options, Brighton, Fulham, Chelsea, Liverpool, according to reports, options like that in the Premier League? Maybe we are being a little bit naive. So Somerville is that prize jewel that we're expecting to leave. The jewel in the crown, I should say, that we're expecting to leave the football club. So we've all sort of got our mindsets ready for that. I think that the huge problem with Borussia Dortmund is the pathway. We've seen Jadon Sancho, we've seen Erling Haaland, we've seen Jude Bellingham, and they're just the notorious ones. They're the ones that we're aware of. But I think the Jude Bellingham marker would be a selling point, not only just to Archie Gray, but the Gray family. If they're taking care of their young lad as a family, and they're looking at Borussia Dortmund, a massively family-orientated football club, similar to Leeds, but obviously they're at a different level. We have to understand and expect that. They are, I've been out to Dortmund multiple times, been part of the Yellow Wall. I've watched it in and around. It's a fantastic football club. I actually had a tour. I was lucky enough to have a tour around and sort of meet a couple of people there, because I've got a lot of German friends out there. And it's an unbelievable club. They take you in as one of their own. Huge English speakers as well, which I do think makes a huge impact with younger players. A mass amount of liaison officers, once again, which is a mass beneficiary to the younger players coming over from different countries, because that's what Dortmund have done for years. They just take players from different countries, all the way back to Paul Lambert when they took him from I believe it was Aberdeen as a young lad. They've always had a pathway open for players from different countries, young players from different countries, and especially when you look at the whole side of it, Great Britain, really. So I think when you're looking at the Grey dynasty at Leeds United, I think that they would be mad not to look at Dortmund. Mad not to look at Dortmund because the pathway's there for their young lad. They know that he's going to be at the top of his game as well with the coaching staff that they have there, and they've just been recently beating the Champions League final by Jude Bellingham's Real Madrid. So there's such an arc there for Archie to look at when it comes to Bellingham, Sancho, and Erling Haaland, and to think, wow, I'm going to be part of that whole list right now. And you look at even the comfortable nature that clubs feel like. Jadon Sancho was completely excluded at Man United. He was done at Manchester United, goes to Borussia Dortmund, and he completely revitalized his career. So the bed there for every single player is just unbelievable for them to get there and get it right. That's why I'm a little bit worried about this one, because I think the selling pitch is always clearly excellent from them. 80,000 people in the stadium week in, week out. They're going to get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League every single year. I don't even know if they're actually in it this season. I might be mistaken when it comes to that. I'm not sure if you get through it with the German Cup. I don't think they won that either. That was Leverkusen. So I don't even know if they're in it yet, but they will be in some form of European competition, I believe. But the scouting department has been following the players' development when it comes to Archie Gray closely since day one, and the club have already had him on their list since last summer. So there we go. It's not even just been this one, it's last summer. The player has certainly not failed to realise that BVB can be an ideal springboard. So we talk about Leeds being this platform to go into another club, but Borussia Dortmund, you're there for 1 or 2 years, and you can move on to Man City. You can move on, to Man United. You can move on, which obviously Archie's not going to do, but Man United. You can move on to Real Madrid. Archie might be looking at that, as Borussia Dortmund will definitely have close other squad construction sites first, and the transfer of Pascal Gross is imminent. A possible signing of Gray will have to wait. So when we're looking at this, we have got to look at the amount of eights that they've got. Sabitzer, Nemecha as well, Pascal Gross. There is a lot of number eights there. Maybe there's a little bit more competition. I do look at Archie Gray and think, are they going to be playing him in maybe a different position to what we expect in the number 8 midfield? Are they maybe going to be pushing him right back? Are they going to be putting him, in central midfield, and the number 8, number 6, number 8, whatever it's going to be? We know Pascal Gross is probably more of a number 6 as well, so he might be battling a little bit more with Sabitzer and Nemecha. There's a lot there to contend with, and maybe a little bit more competition than what Jude Bellingham had at that stage of his career for Archie Gray, and that might be some consideration in his decision. He might think to himself, look, I don't want to go in there and just not play any minutes, but we know at Dortmund, the Bundesliga is nowhere near as good as the Premier League, so he might be looking at that as well. Once again, that word springboard. So look, lots to look at when it comes to him, and yeah, I think Leeds are going to have to stand firm with this one. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you a little bit disheartened by this one? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Head on over to the Patreon. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, everyone. And I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.